Have you ever thought that something as simple as your daily bath could be quietly putting your health at risk? What if a lifelong routine, something meant to keep you clean and refreshed, might actually be doing more harm than good after the age of 70? And here's the most surprising part. Doctors rarely talk about it, yet the truth could change how every senior approaches personal hygiene. As a doctor with over 4 decades of experience caring for older adults, I've seen firsthand how this overlooked habit can turn dangerous. Most people believe daily bathing is essential for cleanliness and health, but for seniors, the reality can be quite the opposite, and the consequence is more serious than you'd ever imagine. Let's start with a shocking truth. Hot baths, though soothing, can silently strain an aging heart. When you step into steaming water, your body reacts instantly. The heat forces your blood vessels to widen, a process known as vasodilation, in an effort to cool you down. While this might sound harmless, it causes your blood pressure to drop sharply. For younger people, it's barely noticeable. But for seniors, especially those with heart or circulation problems, it can trigger dangerous episodes. I once had a 90-year-old patient who proudly told me, "Doc, I've taken a hot bath every day since I was 16. That's my secret to strength." He was lively, full of spirit, until one cold January morning when everything changed. The sudden heat caused his blood pressure to crash, and he collapsed in his bathroom. Fortunately, his daughter stopped by at just the right time to save his life. After that, he gave up hot baths for good. This story isn't rare. It's a warning. A reminder that even our most trusted routines can turn risky as our bodies age. So before you draw that next hot bath, it might be time to ask yourself, is it really helping your health or quietly hurting it? His story has stayed with me because it highlights a hidden danger so many seniors overlook. After 65, the autonomic nervous system, the body's internal regulator of heart rate, blood pressure, and temperature, loses its agility. It simply can't adjust as quickly to sudden changes, like stepping out of a warm bath into cooler air. That delay can trigger a condition called orthostatic hypotension, where blood pressure drops sharply, leading to dizziness, fainting, or even falls. And the longer you soak in hot water, the harder your heart has to work. In my years of clinical practice, I've found that when older adults spend more than 15 minutes in water hotter than 106 41 degrees, their heart's workload can jump by 20 to 30%. That's the same effort as a brisk walk, except you're standing still in a slippery tub where one wrong move could be dangerous. So how can you enjoy your bath safely without risking your health? First, lower the heat. Keep the water between 100 degrees and 104 degrees, or 38 degrees and 40 degrees. Test it with your wrist or the back of your hand. It should feel warm, not hot. Second, limit your bath to about 10 minutes. That's enough to stay clean without straining your heart. Third, drink a full glass of water before and after bathing. Dehydration is common among seniors and can make blood pressure drops worse. Next, adjust your setup. A sturdy shower chair provides balance and safety, reducing the risk of slipping. And if you're over 80 or have any health conditions, never bathe alone. Let someone know when you're bathing, or use a bathroom alert system with a pull cord or emergency button. These simple precautions might seem small, but they can prevent major health scares, and even save your life. Now, let's move to another overlooked truth. Daily bathing might be doing more harm to your skin than good. That fresh, clean feeling we all love can actually come at a cost. As we age, our skin changes. It becomes thinner, drier, and far more sensitive. And hot water, combined with harsh soaps, accelerates that damage. Here's why. By age 65, your skin produces about half the natural oils it once did. These oils protect and moisturize the skin, keeping it smooth and resilient. But daily exposure to hot water strips away this vital barrier, leaving the skin dry, irritated, and prone to cracks or itching. I once had a 78-year-old patient, a lovely woman I'll call Mrs. H, who came to me desperate for relief. Her skin had become so dry and itchy that she couldn't sleep through the night. What she thought was good hygiene was actually robbing her skin of the little protection it had left. Her arms, back, and legs were covered in red, irritated patches of inflamed skin. When I asked about her routine, she smiled proudly and said, "Doctor, I wash myself head to toe every single day with hot water and soap. I like to stay spotless." But after a quick examination, the cause was obvious. Her skin was painfully dry, cracked, and filled with tiny micro-tears, invisible openings that allowed bacteria to sneak in and trigger infection. She looked at me in disbelief and asked, "Did I really do this just by trying to stay clean?" Unfortunately, the answer was yes. Her daily scrubbing had gone too far. In a study I conducted with dermatologists, we found that older adults who used soap more than 4 times a week were 60% more likely to develop xerosis, severely dry, damaged skin. This isn't just a cosmetic concern. Cracked, flaky skin can become a gateway for infection, sometimes leading to serious conditions like cellulitis that require hospitalization. To help prevent this, I developed simple, science-backed bathing strategies tailored for aging skin, methods that focus on protecting and nourishing rather than over-cleansing. Let's start with frequency. I recommend limiting baths or showers to no more than 3 times a week. That may sound surprising, especially if you've bathed daily your entire life, but there's solid reasoning behind it. As we age, our sebaceous glands, the ones that produce natural oils, slow down. These oils act as a vital shield, keeping our skin soft, hydrated, and strong. When you wash every day with hot water or harsh soap, you strip away what little oil your body still produces. The result? Skin that feels tight, itchy, or even begins to crack, leaving it vulnerable to irritation or infection. Think of your skin as a protective barrier, like a strong but delicate fabric. If you scrub it daily, it frays and weakens over time. But when you give it rest between washes, it repairs itself, restoring the natural oils that keep it resilient. And when you do bathe, you don't need to lather your entire body. Instead, focus on the areas that truly require cleaning: the armpits, groin, and feet. These are the regions most prone to sweat, bacteria, and odor. For the rest of your body, arms, legs, chest, and back, warm water alone is often enough to refresh and maintain hygiene without damaging your skin's protective barrier. A gentler approach is often all your skin needs. A quick rinse with warm water or a light wipe using a soft, damp cloth can keep you clean without disrupting your skin's natural balance. Overwashing, especially with strong soaps, can strip away essential oils and worsen dryness or irritation. By washing only where it's necessary, you preserve your skin's natural defenses while maintaining proper hygiene. This brings us to the next important factor: choosing the right soap. It may seem trivial, but this small choice can determine whether your skin stays healthy or becomes damaged. Many commercial soaps found on store shelves are highly alkaline, with a pH between 9 and 11. They may make you feel squeaky clean, but for older skin, they're far too harsh. Your skin's natural pH is slightly acidic, around 5.5. This acidity helps maintain its protective barrier and keeps harmful bacteria at bay. When you use alkaline soap, you disturb that balance, weakening your skin's natural defense and increasing the risk of dryness, irritation, and infection. That's why I always recommend switching to a mild, pH-balanced cleanser, ideally between 5.5 and 6.0. These gentler cleansers clean effectively without stripping away moisture or damaging your skin's protective layer. The result is healthier, smoother, and more comfortable skin that feels refreshed rather than raw. Now let's talk about timing, what I like to call the 3-minute rule. After bathing, apply moisturizer within 3 minutes of stepping out of the water. Why so soon? Because your skin is still slightly damp, and its pores are open, allowing the moisturizer to seal in hydration. Wait too long, even 10 or 15 minutes, and the water evaporates, pulling moisture out of your skin and leaving it drier than before. To make the most of this step, gently pat your skin with a soft towel instead of rubbing it. Then immediately apply a good quality moisturizer to lock in that moisture. Think of it like sealing a fresh coat of paint to protect its finish. It's a small, simple act that delivers lasting benefits for your skin's health. Finally, not all moisturizers are created equal. Choose wisely. Look for products with key ingredients like ceramides and hyaluronic acid. Ceramides are natural lipids that act as the glue between your skin cells, strengthening the barrier and keeping irritants out. Hyaluronic acid, on the other hand, works like a sponge, drawing in moisture and plumping the skin to reduce fine lines and roughness. Together, these ingredients nourish, restore, and protect your aging skin, helping it stay soft, hydrated, and resilient, just as it deserves to be. Together, these key ingredients work in harmony to fight dryness, flakiness, and that tight, uncomfortable feeling so many older adults experience after bathing. A good moisturizer doesn't just hydrate, it actively repairs and strengthens the skin, helping it stay resilient and healthy. But before we wrap up, there's an important truth that ties everything together. The bathroom, a place meant for care and renewal, can also be one of the most dangerous rooms in the home for seniors. Falls in the bathroom are alarmingly common and remain the leading cause of injury among older adults. This isn't just a number in a study, it's a painful reality I've seen many times over the years. Wet floors, slippery tubs, and poor support can turn an ordinary bath into a serious accident. And for seniors, recovery from such falls is rarely simple. What starts as a small slip can lead to fractures, long-term mobility loss, or worse. By bathing less frequently, choosing gentler soaps, and using moisturizers wisely, you're not only protecting your skin, you're also reducing the time you spend in a high-risk environment. Adding practical safety measures like non-slip mats, sturdy grab bars, and a shower chair can turn your bathroom back into the safe, comforting space it's meant to be. I'm reminded of a story that still weighs heavily on me. Last winter, an 88-year-old man I knew, once fully independent and strong, slipped while stepping out of his tub. It happened in a split second. One small misstep on the wet floor, and he fell, fracturing his hip. The surgery went well, with no complications. But afterward, everything changed. Walking, something he had done effortlessly for decades, became a painful struggle. His independence faded, and within months, he had to move into assisted living. A change that felt more like defeat than choice. That one fall didn't just break a bone. It broke the rhythm of his life, his confidence, and his freedom. It's a sobering reminder of how a simple bath can carry hidden risks. Statistics tell the same story. Nearly 38% of all bathroom falls happen during or right after bathing. That's not a small figure. It's a clear warning. And for older adults, each fall carries not only physical pain, but a sharply increased risk to long-term health and survival. A study from Severs Hospital revealed a sobering fact. Among people over 80 who suffer a hip fracture, nearly 1 in 4 won't survive the following year. Let that sink in. 25% of seniors lose their lives within 12 months of a single fall. It's a heartbreaking number, and yet so many underestimate how dangerous a simple slip in the bathroom can be. So what's really behind this epidemic of bathroom accidents? It comes down to 3 main causes. First, slippery floors. Picture this. Water splashes onto smooth tiles, mixing with a bit of soap or shampoo. The result is a nearly invisible film, slick as ice and just as treacherous. One small misstep, and down you go. Second, sudden drops in blood pressure. After soaking in a warm bath, your blood vessels expand. But when you stand up too quickly, your pressure can plummet, leaving you lightheaded or dizzy, often at the worst possible moment. And third, the natural effects of aging. We lose muscle strength, reflexes slow down, and balance isn't what it used to be. Combine that with wet floors, dim lighting, or clutter, and it's a recipe for disaster. But here's the good news. These risks aren't inevitable. They can be reduced dramatically with a few simple precautions. Start with non-slip mats, one inside the tub and another just outside. They're inexpensive but incredibly effective at preventing slips. Next, remove loose rugs from your bathroom. They may look cozy, but they're notorious for bunching up and causing trips. Install grab bars near the bathtub and toilet. These are more than accessories. They're lifelines. I've seen them save lives. Consider adding a shower chair, too. Sitting while bathing reduces your risk of slipping by over 90%. It's a small change that makes a big difference. And just as important, slow down. Take your time standing up after a bath, allowing your body to adjust. If you feel dizzy, sit back down and wait until you feel steady again. There's no need to rush. Your safety comes first. If you're over 80 or live alone, don't hesitate to ask for help. Calling a family member or neighbor to check in isn't a sign of weakness. It's a sign of wisdom. Now, let's turn to another overlooked concern: temperature regulation after bathing. As we age, our bodies lose some ability to maintain stable internal heat. Studies show that people over 80 can have up to a 40% reduction in their capacity to adjust to temperature changes compared to younger adults. This becomes especially serious after a hot bath. Let me share a case that still stays with me. Last January, a 92-year-old woman decided to unwind with her usual warm bath before bed, a nightly ritual she'd kept for years. But that night, she didn't dry off completely. She sat in her drafty living room wearing only a thin nightgown, still slightly damp. Within an hour, her body temperature dropped to 34.5 degrees or 94.1 degrees, a clear case of hypothermia. Her family found her shivering uncontrollably and rushed her to the hospital. She survived, but it was a chilling reminder of how easily this can happen. This brings us to an often overlooked but critical aspect of post-bath safety: temperature management. After years of treating older adults, I've seen how fragile the body's heat regulation can become with age. So, let's talk about a few practical steps to stay warm and safe after bathing. First, warm your bathroom before you step in. Use a small space heater placed safely away from water, or run hot water briefly to fill the room with steam. This prevents the shock of moving from a cozy bedroom into a cold, damp space, a transition that can strain your heart or cause sudden blood pressure changes. Second, dry off immediately with a warm towel. It might sound simple, but lingering moisture pulls heat from your body as it evaporates, just like sweat cools you down in summer. In winter, that same process can quickly drop your core temperature. Third, once you're dry, dress warmly, especially your head and feet. Wet hair can draw heat from your scalp, and bare feet lose warmth fast. Slip into warm socks, a long-sleeved shirt, and a thick robe to seal in body heat. Fourth, drink something warm afterward: herbal tea, hot water with lemon, or even warm milk. It gently raises your core temperature and helps blood circulate more efficiently, especially to your hands and feet. Finally, consider when you bathe. Timing makes a real difference. In winter, the best time is mid-afternoon, between 2 o'clock and 4 o'clock p.m., when the air is warmer. Morning baths can shock your body with cold air, and evening ones often expose you to falling nighttime temperatures. Now, let's move into a surprising truth that challenges what most people believe. Being too clean can actually weaken your immune system. I know it sounds counterintuitive, but for older adults, excessive hygiene can backfire. Your skin isn't just a covering. It's an ecosystem filled with millions of beneficial bacteria, your skin's microbiome. These tiny allies form a natural shield, protecting you from harmful germs and keeping your body in balance. The problem is, frequent bathing, especially with harsh soaps, strips away that protective layer. While younger skin can recover quickly, aging skin takes much longer to restore its defenses, leaving you vulnerable to irritation and infection. And I'll never forget one particular patient who proved just how true that can be. An 83-year-old woman came to see me last winter, struggling with recurring skin infections, inflamed rashes, and dryness so severe her skin had begun to crack. She told me she bathed every single day using a strong antibacterial soap, believing it kept her healthy. But in reality, she was stripping away her skin's natural oils and microbiome, its first line of defense, leaving tiny cracks where harmful bacteria could slip through. We changed her approach completely. She reduced bathing to 2 or 3 times a week, switched to a mild cleanser, and began moisturizing after each wash. Slowly, her skin began to heal. The infections disappeared, the redness faded, and she told me she finally felt comfortable in her own body again. This isn't an isolated story, it's backed by research. In a study I conducted with Seoul National University, we found that adults over 75 who bathed daily with soap had 35% lower skin immunity than those who bathed just 2 or 3 times a week. That's a striking difference, and a wake-up call for anyone who believes more washing means more health. So, how can you stay clean without weakening your skin's natural defenses? The answer is simple. Limit baths to 2 or 3 times per week to allow your microbiome to recover. Avoid antibacterial soaps. They're too harsh and eliminate both good and bad bacteria. Choose mild, pH-balanced cleansers instead. Focus on washing areas that truly need it, your armpits, groin, and feet, and skip full body scrubbing unless absolutely necessary. Finally, maintain indoor humidity between 40% and 60% to protect your skin from dryness. Dry air can rob your skin of moisture, making it more fragile and prone to irritation. I understand that changing a habit you've practiced for decades isn't easy. But as an old Chinese proverb reminds us, the best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago. The second best time is now. Start today. Small changes can have a lasting impact on your comfort and health. Thank you for joining me on this journey through the hidden truths about bathing after 70. I hope these insights have opened your eyes and inspired you to care for your body more gently and wisely. Wishing you good health, happiness, and peace. And remember to subscribe to my channel, Healthy Aging Blueprint, for more science-backed advice to help you live longer and live better.